Tara Troopers, it's me, Tara. We got to talk Farmer Wants a Wife, the latest episode, which I think was like episode 8, where they go on their final solo dates. So I'll break it down I'll go guy by guy, but make sure, leave a like, leave a comment. You know, if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, give me a 5-star rating, do all the juice. Go to my website, thetaraerickson.com. Go to my store. That's where you find a bunch of stuff that I created. Dad Mom's Club gear, Dad Dad's Club gear, and a bunch of other stuff as well. And go to my Patreon if you want more access to full uncut reactions of other shows that I'm doing, where you can sync up with your own copy of like Love Island or Traitors. There's a bunch of stuff over there. Patreon has all the info. It's a good deal if you ask me. I love you guys. Let's get to it. Okay. So Farmer Colton, the old Mono King. He loves to kiss them all, and I appreciate that about him. He takes Kaylee. Finally, like Kaylee gets a one-on-one date, right? And who is left behind is Bailee and Zoe. And initially you think like, oh, it's going to be Bailee because he took her on the first solo date. But then he has a date with Zoe and he's like, I don't know. He's like, whoa, it just gets better and better. I could just talk to her for ages. And then you're like, oh God, I think it's Zoe. And then he goes on this one-on-one date with Kaylee. And she tells him about her ovarian cyst stuff, that it might be hard for her to have kids and it causes, some issues. And then he reassured her that is not a problem. He did a great job of saying like, that doesn't affect how I would move along with you or our future. He handled it very, very well. And then in his one-on-one, he goes, I've never felt closer to Kaylee. And then he like leans over and is like, whew. Like he looks like he's about to like keel over because he might be in love. And I'm like, this guy's so confused because he seems to be into every single girl almost the same amount every time he has a one-on-one after all of his dates. He just seems like he's taken aback by every single one. And I feel bad for them because I don't know what I would do, because each girl, I feel like I would go and be like, what does he say to you? Like, for real, how do you feel? And they're all going to be like, I look into his eyes. He kissed me. He likes me. He reassures me. I would be confused as hell, which is why Bailee leaves. Bailee's like, I want to be pursued. I want to be wanted. I see you flirting with the other girls a lot more, and I think it's my time to go. And I was like, heck yeah, Bailee. Finally, I would have left like during the camping trip if it was me, but that's just me. So I'm glad that Bailee made the decision, because she's like, I have to choose me. And I'm like, yeah, you should be number one priority throughout this whole thing. Like, you're just here to date a guy. And if the guy's not giving you attention and what you need, I don't know why these girls are hanging out so long. Like, they're always saying, like, we just need more time. I don't see him that much. I just wish I had time. And, like, I'm like, oh, my God, if all I had was, like, you have to go up to him and be like, can I pull you for a chat? And then you only have 15 minutes. And then what? The rest of the day, you don't really, like, see each other? I would hate that. I'd just be like, are you into me or not? Like, what's going on here? So I'm glad that Bailee left. But it was so sad when she was talking to him. She went, so I think it's good, that because I'm not getting like good feedback from you or feeling pursued, I think it's time that I should leave. And he just sort of looked at her and he's like, yeah, I think that's what's best for you, best for the other girls, best for me. I get it. Like, that's all he said. And obviously Bailee really likes him and was like looking for Colton to fight for her, and he didn't. He just was like, okay. I felt bad for her because, she got the first date and they had a good connection. So I'm sure she was probably a little shocked when he said that. But she'll find something better out there. Matt, the one who's he's locked down. He doesn't give anything away. He just like wanders around and is like, I'm not going to kiss a bunch of girls and let's just hang out. Except obviously in the last one, he finally kissed Chelsea, which you're like, thank God, like moving along with somebody, because Matt has so many walls up, and he kind of confuses me because I'm like, either you're still heartbroken and you still have so many walls up from your past relationship, or you just don't know how to communicate your feelings, like, at all. So he sort of does it, I guess, the right way. We're in the camping trip. He kisses Chelsea and then he takes her on the one-on-one. And I'm like, yeah, great. But I guess the other girls did. Halleh had kind of a one-on-one. No, she hasn't. But Jordan did. Okay. Anyway, he takes Chelsea. I'm sure Halleh was like wanting that, obviously, because she hadn't had a one-on-one yet. And at that point, had the girls known that him and Kelsey had kissed, if I was Halleh or Jordan, I'd be like, I think I should go. Because, like, you guys kiss, you're taking her on the one-on-one. Like, can't we, like, read into this here? Like, what? I was surprised because, as you guys know, I think my last prediction was that he might end up with Halleh. But then I was like, I don't know, because he's confused whether it's a full friendship vibe. But now I'm like, oh, God, he's going to end up with Chelsea, like, hands down. And I was surprised when he was like, I really like you. And it's funny because Chelsea was like, what, really? And then they go on this one-on-one and it's great. They're vibing. They kiss. I love it. Like, I was like, finally. And then finally they're standing there and she's like, I wish I didn't have this mic on. And he's like, same. And then they like sneak away up to the rafters and you can hear kissing. Like, they're like, ah. And you're like, okay, great. And what I really respect is that when he comes back to the farm, they all have a dinner and Halleh pulls him aside and is like, how do you feel about me? And it's so sad. I didn't think that Halleh would start crying. And I'm sorry if I know I'm probably saying her name wrong, but he goes, I got a really special place for you. I know you're coming across as like a really good friend to me, but I don't see it moving forward romantically. And I think that was a shock to her because I'm in the same mindset where she just wants to date her best friend. And they had a lot of fun together and they joked around. They got each other's personalities. But sometimes guys can't see past like the humor and the friendship to get to the romantic side. It's sort of like, I guess they need the romantic side to come up first, or like the softer side first of a girl, which I get. But I was truly surprised that well, not that she sent herself home. I thought Halleh was going to do that like 2 weeks ago, but that she was like, all right, I think, it's time for me to leave. And she was like, I didn't want to cry. It's just because I'm going to miss you so much. And I was like, oh, this poor girl. She really liked him. And like, they became really fast friends, and I was like, dang it. I just felt bad for her because I really do think that he could have given her a little bit more of like a sign that, hey, this isn't going anywhere romantically, like two sessions ago, But so who's left is Chelsea. Sorry, Chelsea and Jordan. And Jordan's a musician, right? They had a first date with, and then Chelsea. And I'm like, he's going to get together with Chelsea. And I feel bad for Jordan because I don't know if Jordan and Chelsea talk. If Chelsea's like, I had a great date, like we kissed, like blah, 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 blah. He just keeps his cards close to his chest. Like if I was Jordan, I would be like, can I also talk to you? How did it go with Chelsea? Do you feel more connected to her? Because if you do, I should go. But I get it. Like the producers are probably like, no, you can't go. Like this is a show. You got to stay. I don't know. But if I was Jordan in this next episode, I'd be talking to him for sure. Okay. Jay, he takes Rissa out. They're fishing. They have a good vibe. But like the second, sorry, I thought I had, I was eating pistachio nuts and I thought I had one stuck in my tooth. I didn't. Just a weird feeling. Anyway, let's move on to Jay. Jay takes Rissa out, and the second she mentions traveling, he's like, I'm a homebody. And I loved it because she she still had thoughts in her mind that like you can live on the farm, do the farm stuff, but then like we can also travel, and she wants to take her family traveling and like, teach them things, teach them to be cultured, yada yada. He is not interested at all, which I get. He's like, well, I own a farm. I have a lot of animals to take care of. And in my mind, I was like, well, you could get like a house sitter that you trust. I get that that's a hard job. You would just have to pay them for their work, and then you could travel. Because I did think that they were a good match, and it was what his mom chose, and I thought they were vibing really well. And it was really just, I feel like the reason that he didn't go with her is because she wants to travel and he does not. He wants to stay home on his farm. And she understood that. And obviously the girls were happy when he came back without her, because Grace and Karina they are falling for him super hard. And they don't show conversations between the girls, because I'm like, aren't Grace and Karina, when they're at the house together, like talking to be like, how are you feeling with him? Like, what's the vibe? And then like, I don't know, trying to figure it out together. I would be. And let's see, what else? He kind of, he in a way reassured them both, like he likes them both, but I honestly, I still think Grace, but I don't know, because Karina was like, my feelings are getting stronger and stronger every single day for Jay. And I was like, dang, really? Like, I was shocked by it, but I still think Jay's going to end up with Grace, because Grace seems like the homebody he wants, and they'll just hang out and take care of the farm together. That's what I think. You guys can tell me what you think. All right, Mr. Farmer John, he takes Claire roping on their one-on-one date, right? They're doing a little flirting. And then they eventually go to have the conversation, a more deep conversation. But the subject of religion and faith comes up, because he goes, in order, faith, family, work. And she's like, okay, so in that order, I didn't grow up religious, like, at all. And of course, like, him immediately, I'm sure he's like deep down panicking. And then he goes, well, would you be open to learning more about that? And she went, yeah, of course. And I think the next thing she said was very good, because she said, but, me coming from a non-religious background and you coming from a religious one, we both turned out to be nice, kind, cool people. And the underlying message there is that you don't need religion to basically become a good person or operate in a good way, which also would be a good message should they ever have kids, because his number one thing is that someone wants to become a mom. That's kind of most of their number one thing, is they want to have kids, and especially for John. And I just thought the underlying message there was really good. Like, she's just trying to go, I don't think she was trying to say this, but in a way, it's like, I don't need to go to church with you to be a good person or to be a good mom or be a good partner to you. But she was willing and open to it, right? But I also think he should be willing and open to her maybe not, like, she should try it. And then if she doesn't want to, like, he should also, I would have asked, like, well, are you also open if I don't want to go all the time, But it was funny, because in his one-on-ones, he just went, yeah, I guess opposites attract. That's true. He's like, I feel really close to Claire. This was a great date. It's just, she's made it more confusing for me, right? Because Lily was the one that he was his first kiss at the campsite. He's really into Lily. And I really didn't know who John was really into, but he's really into Lily. And now he's into Claire. Obviously. But their kiss was not that epic. They're backlit. They're on the porch, and he goes, good night. I'll walk you. She's like kind of she goes in for the kiss, and she kind of stumbles back. And I was like, oh, I think she's had a lot of beers, because they were having beers like during the day. And she stumbled like 2 or 3 times. It wasn't a huge stumble, but it was enough to be like, it's kind of like she would like stumble and then look at him again and then go and then they kind of finished it. But it was fine. In his one-on-one, he was like, that was a great kiss with Claire. And I'm like, thank God he thought it was great, because from the camera angle, and again, we're like 8 feet back to give him room. It looked a little awkward, like she had drank too much, but it was still very cute. And I like that he said opposites attract. So he's not like, oh God, if Faith doesn't come first with her, then I'm out. You know, I think, yeah, give her a chance. But that also makes me think that he'll just go for Lily more, because they're more matched up on that like moral compass, like faith, family stuff, you know? And thank goodness Juliana left. I thought she would leave during the camping. I would have if I was her, because she's a new girl who just came in. He didn't take her on the one-on-one. You don't have enough time with him. I would have left after camping, because it's like, either we have enough of a great connection to where you want to take me on the one-on-one, or like, I'm out of here, right? Because what did Jay do? He brought Rissa back. He took her on the one-on-one, because you would assume you want to get to know this person more, and the other girls you've had more time with. So you'd want to get to know the girl that you just brought onto the farm, right? But he didn't do that with Juliana. So I respect her for leaving. Super. I think it's obviously a good move. And she did seem a little disappointed, but she wasn't in the same position as Bailee. Like, Bailee wanted Colton to fight for her. And I think Juliana knew at this point that like her and John were not, they just weren't going to work out. Like, he wasn't trying enough for her, you know? So finally, now they're finally down to 2, and they have to take them to the parents, right? So let's guess. Farmer Colton, I think he's going to take Zoe, even though he looked like he was like struck in love after Keely's date. I still think he's going to take Zoe. I see something more there with him and Zoe for some reason. Matt is going to take Chelsea. I think at that point, once they take someone to the family, the other girl leaves, right? Yeah, it has to be. Otherwise, it's awkward as hell. Jay, I think he's going to go with Grace, and then John will go with Lily. Even though him and Claire, they laugh a lot. I think him and Lily laugh a lot, but Claire seems more like she's the more humorous one. I think with her having a differing opinion about Faith, I think we'll get to John too much, and especially because he wants kids, it gets in their head of like, well, how are we going to raise the kids? Like, it's a lot, even though Claire wouldn't be worried about it. She'd be like, cool, I'll go to church. We can teach them both things, you know, have them make their own decisions. We can take them to church, but not force them to get baptized if they don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like with what Claire said, saying you grew up religious, I didn't, but we both turned out to be kind, good people, is just a good statement. But I still don't see John looking at that and going, yeah, totally, Claire would be a good match for me. I think guys look at like all the things more. Even though he said opposites attract, I think he's obviously going to go for Lily, because it's like all there for him, you know? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Had to drink my green tea. I don't know why I yawn a lot when I do these reviews. It's like, is it just because I'm talking too fast or too much? Like, I don't get it. Anyway, I love you guys. Let me know what you think. I'm excited for the next episode. We're almost to the end. Let me know who you think they're going to end up with, and are they going to last? You tell me. Leave me a comment, leave me a like, share this video. Let's get the views up. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one.